So since we started, we were talking about recruiting new and quality board members for your non-profit organization. And we listed 7 clear steps to do so. Today, we're going to be talking about the last and the 7th step of the process, which is introducing and aligning new and old board members. Now, if you started with us, we started by talking about board recruitment planning, where you get to plan and determine the kind of board members you need, selection criteria, the process to bring in these board members. And then we moved on to talk about the tools you need throughout the process and how to create them. And then, of course, we went on to talk about how to launch your board outreach. Now you have the tools, you have the content, how to launch your board outreach. After that, we went on to talk about interviewing these board members, right? These prospective board members. And then we moved on to talk about onboarding these new board members you've selected after the interviewing, right? And then, of course, today we're going to be talking about introducing and aligning new and old board members. In most occasions, before you go out there to recruit new board members, of course, you have old board members, right, within your organization. So it means once you bring in these new board members, you have to be able to align both the new and the old board. And the first step of the process to doing so is through board introduction. So this is usually a meeting where both new and old board members come in to introduce themselves to the rest of the board members so that you can know the next person sitting on the board with you, right? This is where they get to introduce their skills, their expertise, their experiences, their passion, things they've done before, things they like that are fun to them, This is really where you get to know the next person sitting on the board with you. And this process is very important because some people just take old board members and, just get them into the next board meeting and everybody begins to flow. But usually that's not the best. This is the best time for you to bring them together, get them to begin introducing themselves, finding alignment. And then, of course, an important part of this process is providing them a form to fill. We call it the individual board assessment form. So that form is to help each board member assess themselves based on their skills, based on their experience, based on their expertise. Usually this form is going to give you clarity on how best to engage these board members forward. So like I said, the introduction part is the first part of the board alignment process. The part that complements the board alignment process is the strategic planning that comes after the introduction. So, but of course, you need to be able to have that individual board assessment so that when you do strategic planning, you know how best to begin delegating responsibilities to the new board members. So, this brings us to the end of the 7 steps to finding and recruiting new quality board members for your organization. And introducing each board members is the way to go, getting them to, align so that you can begin to build a unified vision. So the next time I'm going to come on is to come talk about strategic planning. That's like the real complementary process because by the time they begin to plan together, by the time they begin to share ideas together, there's a lot of alignment that is built through that process. And as we say in community development, people who plan together execute together. So strategic planning is the next step of the process to ensure you build a unified vision across your board. All right, so this is the end of this topic. Of course, we're going to be starting strategic planning as we move on. So until I see you again, it's bye for today.